and at least maybe 12 to 15 people hit by this vehicle. I'm in a 200 block of Bourbon. And headed to headquarters. Bourbon Street is shut down from the 100 to at least the 500 block of Bourbon. Officers on Bourbon Street. Headquarters, we need some EMF in here. Do we have them en route? 9530, we need EMF in here on the code 3.
They're all my units that are code 1, where everyone saw them to that location. But anyone on that 30 if possible.
Bourbon and Iberville, I have at least 6 casualties. I have an officer doing the chest compressions on one. I have another white male that's got agonal breathing in the 200.
Over 300 officers out here. And because of the intentional mindset of this perpetrator who went around our barricades in order to conduct this, he was hell-bent on creating the carnage and the damage that he did.
We started crossing over the canal, and we're about a little over midway through this intersection, right probably like 20 yards from where he actually made impact with the people. You just heard this squeal and like the rev of an engine, and then this huge loud impact.
Party. Why I like the new party? Number one, it's a group of people that's on a panel. We all have differences, but we all basically still come together at the end of the day. The new party for me is about unity. The new party for me is about educating people to the truth, letting people know what's been going on in our country. With that being said, shout out to the new party, man. We're going to keep it going with y'all. Party. Why?
Welcome to the new party. I'm Nora Christine.
I'm Ray Mars.
I'm Jenna Morgan.
I go by the name K-Dot. Thank you for having me on. Appreciate it.
Thank you for coming, K-Dot. Everyone, Happy New Year's again. This is a special evening. We don't normally live stream on Thursday nights, but we just had to get this show in so we could talk about our predictions and have K-Dot on as a guest. K-Dot, let everybody know where they can find you and what kind of content you create.
Right now, I am just on TikTok under the name at K-Dot. If you search it up, I should pop right up. And I do political content. I talk to conservatives mostly about the pretty much the immediate future of this country and what it's going to look like with the projections, especially with new President-elect Trump. I am myself am on the left, liberal, Democrat, however you want to label me. That's what I am.
So you call yourself liberal, to be clear.
Yeah, I have liberal ideas, but yeah.
Okay. Well, Gray's also a Democrat, if you can tell from the lives. So you guys are in great company together tonight. Gray has a friend.
Okay.
So we're so excited to have K-Dot because tonight we're going to give a update, a recap of the unfortunate events that happened New Year's Day. Jenna also is officially a part of our cast, so we're excited to announce that. So you will be seeing Jenna every Tuesday evening. She's here for a special event tonight, touch base. Jenna, what does the new party mean to you? And then we'll go into the night because I just want to let everyone know you're a part of our cast.
Thank you guys again so much for welcoming me on board. I just love how, number one, different views. So it's not just people trying to like push a bias, as well as you guys are really creating a space where you do allow for uncomfortable conversations without getting too, emotional, meaning it's fine if you and I disagree or me and Gray disagree or whoever's on here. We're not going to, not like each other. It's not going to be past that conversation. We can talk about things and move on. And I think that's mature and what we need to just do in today's climate. So.
And everybody, if you're not following Jenna, please go do so. Jenna makes great, amazing conservative content. She also talks about healthy living and healthy lifestyle. And Christian, Christian content. So please support our new cast member, Jenna, and also support K Dot. So guys, another announcement we have tonight, we are going to be starting our super chats as Gray Mars announced yesterday. Gray, you want to let everybody know the news that might be joining us?
We actually got monetized on January 1st. So, it's a big accomplishment for us. We've been doing this for about 6 months. How long, Nora?
5 months.
5
5.5
months.
months. 6 months.
So we've come a long way. We've added a bunch of people to the cast. And so we're just trying to make an impact and help people and do the right thing.
Facts. So, everyone, we will be talking about our subscriptions at the end of the call. We'll save that for the end. But again, just had some announcements to make. Very exciting news on this unfortunate night that we're on. So, more has come out, unfortunately, about the terrorist attacks. There is a link to it. K. Dot, have you been following it?
I've been trying to keep up with it, but it's been really like devastating news. Things I've seen that have come out. A lot of things, his connections to certain people who are involved in other things. I myself haven't verified everything that I've seen because, like I said, I've been getting a lot of secondhand news from Twitter or X, and some other things, people sharing information. So, but I've seen a lot, but I'm not exactly sure what exactly is solid just yet.
Right. I mean, it's been like unclear. You have some people saying there's a link between this and Las Vegas. You have some people even coming out and saying that they served together. Then the latest thing that came out about the Las Vegas attack is that the guy was unalive at the time of the explosion. So people are speculating, again, speculation, that maybe somebody drove the car, like it was in manual when the Tesla drove to the spot before it exploded. Jenna, what have you heard?
Yeah, that was an interesting fact I heard too this afternoon. That he had a bullet wound to his head. But the first article I read was that, he did it to himself before. But I was like, wait, that makes no sense. Unless there was like a timer on the bomb, then that makes sense. But that just seems weird to me. I definitely think this is all linked. It's the timing of it. The timing of it's what really gets me. Like, how does it happen on New Year's Eve? And then within 12 hours, it just seems very sketchy. And I do think we are under attack. I think there's a big terrorist breach happening. So.
For sure.
Ray, former military, what's your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm glad you brought it up because we did the Lunch with a New Party. We do it Monday through Friday at 12 p.m. on TikTok. And the people on there were basically talking about veterans. Got a little dicey, but people were trying to say mental health because, like, this isn't the first veteran that's committed a T attack, is what they were saying on TikTok. I don't know if you said it on YouTube.
I mean, we can.
Okay, so basically, they're trying to say it's linked with mental health for veterans, and I wouldn't necessarily put that on it. I know they're also saying it's because he was on child support, he had a good paying job, and then he lost his job, and this is why he did this. So I'm always the person that says, let's wait till the FBI does their job and we find out a little bit more. Because I don't want to say, it's this, and then because they came out, they said he didn't do it alone. Then they came out and said he did do it alone. So you never know.
Yeah, and we had people on the TikTok live. Shout out to the TikTok live. I love hearing from regular people, their thoughts. But guys, this was an American that did this. People were trying to say he wasn't. And the thing that to me is we need to keep that in mind because there are people living among us. Like Jenna said, this is some sort of an attack. We don't know if it's a sleeper cell. So we can't go into this thinking that there's a stereotype of who does this. And that really disturbed me today because this one guy was like, he wasn't an American. I'm like, yes, he was. He served in the armed forces. He was an American. K-Dot, have you seen any Islamophobia like that? Because I heard it today and it really was disturbing.
Yeah, I heard it from the president-elect. I heard it. Trump tweeted out. He did.
What did he say?
He said this guy was a foreigner. He said he related it to him being a foreigner before we found out that he was a U.S. citizen, and he was a veteran. And then Mike Johnson tried to connect it to Speaker of the House. Mike Johnson tried to connect it to the border being open and and then people sending them stuff, sending their worst people across the border. So
I do agree. I did see that, and
yes.
that's so dumb. But keep going. Sorry.
I thought it was a terrible argument, an awful stretch of the
Mm-hmm.
imagination for him to do so, just in bad taste to try and connect it to that, knowing that this is a situation where we clearly have veterans who have reached a point. Now, I've heard reports that there was some sort of connection to ISIS. I don't know if that's credible. I don't know if that's a real thing. Again, this is just things
the
I'm
flag
hearing.
in his truck.
Flag in his truck, right?
Mm-hmm.
So excuse me. Again, pardon me. I'm just getting over a little bit of a head cold. But yes. So the connection to ISIS in his truck. So clearly, we're having an issue with whatever this man was going through, whether it be mental health or he took a hard turn somewhere into a radical ideology, and unfortunately, innocent Americans had to pay a price they were not supposed to. But I think it's super unfortunate. And then people on the internet are going to do what they do. They're going to say what they're going to say. They're going to connect to conspiracy theories and all that. You can't really control that. But I look to the figureheads in our nation to not stoke those flames. And unfortunately, that's what the Speaker of the House and President-elect did. And it just drives those fears and makes it harder for us as a people to really get the truth. You know what I mean? I did see that. And of course, I've saw the regular people on the ground doing the same thing. So, yeah.
Well, the FBI director was back and forth too. One minute she said this wasn't a terrorist attack. The next minute they were like, yeah, it was terrorist. So, I mean, it was on both sides. I don't want to say well, I didn't hear any Democrats, so I'll be fair and say that. But there was a lot of unclearness from our leaders. I will say that all around, from elected officials all the way up to the judicial, the justices, the FBI people like that. So I have to agree with you. It was very unclear. But switching gears here off of that, at the same time, there was protests in New York City literally at the same time. And, this begs the question, are we going to see a rise in anti-Semitism? Let me play the clip and then we can talk about that. And I'll tell you why I bring that up. Here we go. Can y'all hear?
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry. Go ahead.
Revolution! Intifada revolution! Up with liberation! Up with liberation! Down with occupation! Down with occupation! Up with liberation! Up with liberation! Down with occupation! Down with occupation! Up with liberation! Up with liberation! Down with occupation! Down with occupation!
So the reason why I bring that up is I think both sides are going to stroke the flames, left, right, whatever. On the right, they're trying to link this to what's going on in Israel. They are saying that had we not sent money to Israel, what's going on in the Middle East, this would not happen. I saw a lot of that on X. I'll be quite honest with you. And I also saw a lot of Islamophobia. So I think there's an attack on each end. Jenna, what's your thoughts?
Ooh, I'm reeling over here. For one thing, I'll just say is, as a story is developing, I think we can all understand why people would make assumptions or make any type of prediction or give their opinion on it. And we can allow for room for that to change within an hour or a day. I think that's okay. So sometimes I think when people are first coming out with their ideas, we crucify them for whatever they're saying, but we're doing the same thing. And so even for us, it's okay if I say something today and then tomorrow I decide, oh, wait, that was actually wrong. I got more information. So I just want to preface that. I think that's important. We're all human. So the next thing I want to add is from what I'm hearing, I think we are undermining this issue tremendously. I don't know if K-Dot knows, I am Jewish. And I try very, very hard to not be biased. I actually study this even more the last 6 months. This is all I kind of do. I read so many books on the Jewish and Palestinian history, the development of the land, and not because I don't want to just be this biased person just because I am Jewish. And I just think at being Jewish, if I were to have been in that crowd, I do live in New York, I've walked by some of these protests, I genuinely have fear. And I'm a very strong woman. I can take a lot, but it's not peaceful. There's something very aggressive behind it. And I just think, again, if you're looking at timing of all these things, that to me is where I see patterns. Just there's like, it's so close. It's so soon. To both of these, I'm calling them terrorist attacks. I truly think they are. I don't know if you guys listen to the Sean Ryan show, but Sarah Adams, I follow her. She's been on a bunch of podcasts lately, and she's ex-CIA, and has intel about how there's terrorist groups that have come in to America in specifically the past 2 years, and what they have planned for the next year. So that's the first thing I'll say. I'll pause right there.
Yes, we played that clip last night.
Oh, great.
Pretty much, she's saying that these terrorist attacks are to be expected, and they are going to have more of these T attacks coming up, that this is like a start of like a bigger thing. That's what she was predicting. Gray, what's your thoughts on the anti-Semitism and the Islamophobia on the rise? Because again, fair enough, it's going to be on both sides.
I don't think so. I think it's going to be Islamophobia mainly because of 9/11 and just the way America sees things. Because America has interests in Israel. Whether it's Trump or whether it's Biden or whether it's Kamala, they all were going to have interest there regardless. So I think here is going to be more Islamophobia. People, plane crash too today. I don't know if you guys heard that in California.
What plane?
I'm not sure,
I
but
hear
it was
that.
right. It was right before we got on. My computer's over here somewhere, but I won't be surprised if the conspiracy theorists try to link that. But I do agree with you to an extent that because of what's going on in the Middle East, they probably will say they're doing this because we're helping Israel. I can agree with that.
Yeah, it seems like sorry to jump in for one. It just seems like both of those points we're kind of saying the same thing, but the inverse of one another. Right? Like you feel that it's going to be Islamophobia, and I feel that it's going to be pointed anti-Semitism. Obviously, I know that's an obvious statement, but it's just interesting, right?
Why do you
I
feel?
think it's on both sides of the coin, though, because we're on the right. We're right. We're more right leaning, Jenna. So we're going to see that. Like, for example, it's all over the internet. They're trying to link I'll be transparent. They're trying to link the Elon Musk ban on anti-Semitism. They're trying to say that the people that are speaking out against it. Have you seen that, K-Dot, on X? Because I know you're on X. They're trying to go deeper, and they're saying it's beyond the whole visa thing. They're saying it's due to anti-Semitism. K-Dot, what's your thoughts? What have you seen on X, and what do you see as the trend going to be the next 6 months in this country?
Yeah, what I see on X is just a bunch of hateful people. The Nick Fuenteses, the Myron Gaines, all these people who they do run with the anti-Semitic narrative against the Jewish people, and they swear up and down. They run, they're the Hollywood elites. They run everything, and so them getting muted and demonetized, I could care less. They'll blame it on brown people and Jewish people for the rest of their days when their shoes come untied. You know what I mean? Like that's just who they are. But what I did want to go back to is what Jenna has said about when she walks past the protest in New York and how they feel aggressive and you feel unsafe there. And like, do you take these protests as being anti-Semitic?
I wouldn't say all of them. I don't want to also, if I can correct myself, not every time, not every protest have I felt that. There's been different pro-Hamas protests that I have visually seen way more aggression, whether they have actual they've like fire, or what are those called? Torches. Oh my goodness. They're holding like torches. The certain phrases, the just loudness and the chants. I'm trying to describe the differences. So there's some protests I haven't felt that way, but if we're calling for an intifada, and if we're calling for, you know, from the river to the sea, that whole statement, that is for the annihilation of the Israel state. And if Israel were to put their guns down, we wouldn't have an Israel state. We wouldn't have a place for Jews. We wouldn't have Jews. That's the whole point, right? I'm still going extreme. I'm not saying that would happen right away. I'm just saying, but what Israel wants is to have their shared state, which is what was mandated. That's what we're sharing. There's Muslims in Israel right now, currently, that live, and Christians that all live amongst each other. It's not that, you know, Israel is trying to get rid of Palestinians, and also not all Palestinians feel this way. I'm just to preface, I'm just speaking in, you know, the terminology that we're talking in. I'm not putting everyone in one group.
Feel free to talk freely.
Yeah, I just want to know. I can also say that I'm not saying all Palestinians feel this way at all. Radical Palestinians, and also because K-Dot, you don't know me yet, I'm not for the innocent murdering of anyone. I don't enjoy what's happening right now to innocent children and men and women in Palestine. Absolutely not. But you are aware that Israel sends leaflets and they warn them every time they're about to do an attack. I know they don't have the other arguments. They have
I
nowhere
never
else to
heard
go.
that. Wow.
Oh, yeah.
I've never heard that. I learned
Really?
something
Yeah,
new.
they do that.
Did you know that?
Do that.
Yeah, they do that, and then they continuously bomb the places they told them to go.
Right. That's what I heard.
Yes.
Right.
I don't know about. We need to fact check that one.
You can. You absolutely can. It has
sure.
happened.
Sure, I will. To me that seems strange, but
And what seems strange is for you to say, like, you talk about this Israel-Palestine thing and say, like, there's Muslims in Palestine right now, or there's Palestinians in Israel right now, as if it's not, like, they're not marked and shown that they are who they are. They have different license plates. They're only allowed on certain streets. Like, there's a whole situation there for those people that are in Israel. They're not welcome. They don't walk freely as if they're like me in New Jersey.
Have you ever been to Israel?
I've seen enough footage.
I've been there though, so footage is different than
I've seen
there.
It is different, but what are you going to tell me? The different license plates don't exist, and you're going to tell me that the barricades don't exist, and that the certain streets that they can go down doesn't exist?
Look at the reason they did it is because when they came there and they built Israel, they were attacked on all sides from the Arab nations that surrounded them.
when
you try to colonize someone's home, that's probably the response you're going to get.
I mean, when I hear that argument, it's just interesting because the whole argument, like, oh, you're stopping, you guys are stopping in the middle of the story. That is the middle of the story.
No, it isn't. They were there first.
Yes, it is. 3,500 years ago, Israel. That's where we were.
They were there already.
We originated. That's where we were. We were dispersed, multiple times. We then came back to, but Israel's not even making that claim. We're not even making that argument like we were here first. I'm just saying that because in a response to you're stopping in the middle of the story. So actually, no, that's the middle of the story. If we're saying go back to the beginning, then we have to all go back to the way beginning. Jews were there first.
I don't think that's accurate. I'm not going to say that you're
It's in the Bible.
The Bible is not factual. I'm sorry. The Bible is just another story.
Are you a Christian, K-Dot?
No, I'm an atheist.
Okay. All right. So let's move off of this. Because we got a lot of time. I mean, like, and I'm not trying to have this. We can have this another night,
right.
But we got a lot to get through. And K-Dot, sure. I would love to have you back when we have someone named Mr. Dick. He's an Israeli American. He's very passionate about this. So I like your energy, and I really want you to come back when he's on.
Sure. No problem.
No, and because. Listen, I know how Jenna feels because I'm in the middle too of this because of my family. So, and I'm on the opposite side of it. So I know it's a hard thing. It's hard not to be biased. It's a lot of misinformation and there's a lot of facts and us here in America, sometimes we don't hear or know everything, but I know it's a very emotional thing. There are literally people right now as we speak where this is happening. So I get it. I get the passion on both sides.
But doesn't that
but
show
we do
that
have a lot.
They can get along as an Arab and someone Jewish over there?
Historically, the Muslim and Jewish population have gotten along longer peacefully than
True.
Christians and Jewish people. I
Very
don't
true.
understand this fight. I don't know why this Israel
Well, you
situation
know who
arose the way
started
it
it,
arose.
right?
70. Who started what?
Who started this beef with them?
Abraham, when he told Ishmael to take his
No,
the mom to go into the desert.
no,
That's
that was
that's basically what you're saying.
nope.
All I know is like I
I'm
said,
gonna say it on here, and it
oh,
ain't. That's a rumble call. Anyways,
okay.
but it wasn't started with the people that's beefing right now. It was somebody else.
Yep.
You know, we'll leave it at that. Okay, guys. So we have a lot.